Hello and happy holidays to you, my little cougar artists. And if it's after Christmas and after New Year's, by the time you see this video and the holidays are over, well, then I guess just hello. My name, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Mr. G. I'm the art teacher at Rouses Point Elementary. And now I'm taking over all the remote art instruction for the students at Rouses Point Elementary. I used to make a whole bunch of art videos for all the students at Rouses Point when we were all doing remote learning back in the spring and the beginning of the summer back in early 2020 when we were, like I said, we were all remote learning. But this is actually the first video for the art students at Rouses Point that I've made since way back in June. So I'm kind of excited to get started. And it's for all of the art students at Rouses Point, but especially for my remote learners. So if you are interested in doing some artwork together, we'll get started. And our first drawing that we're going to do together is one of the most important things in the whole world. We're going to draw something that I like very much, and hopefully it's something that you like very much. We're going to draw a picture of you. And anytime that you draw a picture of yourself, it's called a self-portrait. So if you got your pencil and your eraser and maybe some colors, we'll get started. And we're going to get started with a circle. Now, my paper is much bigger than the paper that you're probably going to end up using. So on your paper, which is probably probably computer paper, about 9 by 12, start out with drawing a circle nice and light. And if you like it, go ahead and make it darker. And if you want to, you can use something to trace out a circle. I don't think that's cheating any more than it is to use a ruler to draw a straight line. So if you want to get something round, like maybe a CD or a DVD, if you still have any of those in your house, maybe something that's about the size of a margarine lid, to trace your circle right about in the middle of your paper, we're going to get started. Well, I'm ready to get started on my portrait, and I'm going to start with a pencil. It's always a good idea to draw first with a pencil. That way, if you make a mistake, you can erase it before you move on. And if I happen to go a little bit too fast for you to follow along in this video, well, feel free to stop it or rewatch it so that you can work at your own pace. Now, like I said, we're starting out with a circle, but people don't really have faces that are circles. They're actually shaped a little bit more like eggs. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this face a little bit longer. And the way that we're going to do that is we're just going to make another mark, maybe a little bit lower. How much lower? Not much. Just do a little trial and error. And when you draw the shape of your face, if it looks a little bit too long and skinny, well, then shorten it. And if it looks a little bit too short, then feel free to make it a little bit longer. And every face is a little bit different. So some of these rules that I talk about are just kind of general rules. They don't work with every single face. But I'm going to make a mark that's a little bit below my circle, and then I'm just going to draw a curve, not a straight line, but a curve. So it's a nice, smooth, continuous egg shape that's a little bit smaller on the bottom and a little bit bigger up towards the top. And once I've got that egg shape, it looks pretty good to me, I don't need this part of the circle anymore, so I'm going to erase that. And now I have the basic shape of my face, which is one of the most important things that you can get, because you can't have the face look correct unless the shape of the face is correct. No matter how well you draw the facial features, if the shape of the head is way off, the whole face is going to be off. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're drawing faces is they make eyes way too high on the face. Your eyes are actually halfway down your head. I know it doesn't seem that way, but really, if you were to take a photograph and look at it right from top to bottom, you'd find that the eyes are right in the middle. So we're going to draw the eyes not way up here, but halfway down. And it's going to look odd at this point, but I'm going to draw just two half circles. Now, I know you can draw a half circle, but I'm going to work lightly until I like it. And since I know where they're supposed to be, which is halfway down, the only thing that I have to think about is how big are they? And I want to make them about so that the space between the eyes is about as big as each eye. And the space between the eye and the edge of the face is maybe a little bit smaller than the size of the eye, but about the size of an eye. So really, I have 5 even spaces right here. And inside each half circle, I'm going to put a full circle that goes all the way to the bottom of the eye, right from the top to the bottom. And again, it's a good idea to draw lightly until you know that you like it. Once I have that shape, I'm going to make it a little bit darker. And everybody's circle, the colored part of the eye, is round as a penny. Boys, girls, young people, old people, everybody has got an iris, that's the colored part of the eye, that is perfectly round. Now for the nose, nose is something that gives people a lot of trouble. We're going to keep it very simple. All I'm going to do is come about halfway down from the eyes to the bottom of the head, halfway down, and just draw a simple little curve. And if I put it in the right place, it's going to look like a nose. I don't need to draw an outline around the nose. If I want to put a little bit of shading to make it look like the nose is coming out, that's one thing. But don't draw an outline around the nose. If this is all that I draw is this simple shape, I'm better off with this than drawing too much. The mouth is also going to be a simple shape. I'm going to draw a straight line that goes about from the middle of the eye to the middle of the eye. Now it's going to change depending on whether you're smiling or shouting or blowing a kiss or whatever kind of facial expression that you're making. And it also is going to change from person to person. But usually it's about to the middle of the eye. I'm going to keep that shape simple for the mouth. We're going to give a nice smile. And all I'm doing is a triangle that points down. Okay? I'm going to erase a little bit of this. Again, that's one of the good things about drawing with pencil. My next detail is the eyebrow. It's going to be different on every person. Some people have thin eyebrows. Some people have thick eyebrows. Sometimes they're curved. Sometimes they're basically straight lines. I'm going to make it a simple little curve. It's almost straight, but it's got a little bit of a curve. And it's a little bit longer than the eye. Again, it changes with everybody, and it's going to change depending on what the facial expression is. If somebody's very angry, their eyebrows may look like this. Or if they're surprised, the eyebrows may be higher up on the head. If they're suspicious, they may look like this. So maybe you want to look in the mirror or at a photograph of yourself when you draw your eyebrows. Well, let's give our person a little bit of hair. And hair is another thing that's going to change from person to person. My hair has changed quite a bit over the years. I wasn't always a blonde, but that's the way it goes. And when you draw your self-portrait, again, you don't necessarily want to look at my picture. You want to look at either a picture of yourself or look in the mirror and determine what you want your hair to look like so that it looks like you. I'm just going to draw a simple little line that goes all the way across the middle of the forehead, maybe a little higher, maybe a little bit lower. And when it gets to the edge of the head, I'm going to draw another line that comes down about to the middle of the eyes so that it looks like a little bit of hair on the side. For the ears, I'm just going to make a simple little oval that goes about from the top of the ear, or pardon me, about the top of the eye to about the bottom of the nose. Maybe a little bigger, maybe a little bit smaller. Got to draw two of them. The neck is usually a little bit skinnier than the head. So I'm just going to draw maybe from about the edge of the eye straight down. Draw a little scoop, a little curved line for the top of the shirt, the collar of the shirt. And for the shoulders, they go not perfectly straight across, but not too far down. So I'm going to angle down just a little bit until I get close to the edge of my paper. Then I'm going to come straight down. So it's angling down just a little bit until it gets close to the edge of my paper. And there we go. Now, if I'm doing a drawing of a boy, my picture might be just about finished right now, depending on what I want my person to be wearing. Maybe he's wearing a hoodie or a football jersey, a Cougar t-shirt, whatever you want. Whatever kind of details you want to put on your picture to make it more personal, to make it look like it reflects your own individual personality, that's what you want to do. Maybe a baseball cap. Maybe if you have earrings, maybe you want to put earrings in. In fact, if we want to make this portrait a girl, there's just a few changes that I'm going to show you right now to make it look more like a girl. So what can I do? Maybe I'll draw a triangle up here, connected to another triangle. with a circle in the middle. And now she has a little bow in her hair. Maybe I'll continue this line right here to show the rest of the ribbon. I'm going to give the girl in my picture long hair. Sometimes boys have long hair. Sometimes girls have short hair. But in my picture, I'm going to draw long hair. Just going to come around the head and then come straight down. Maybe I'll give her just 4 or 5 little lines along the side of her eyelash. Make her eyelashes look nice and long. And at this point, I'm ready to add some color to finish it off. So let's do that now. Well, now my self-portrait is in full color and it's all finished. But it's not really a self-portrait, is it? It's not a drawing of myself, it's a drawing of a little girl. In fact, it's a drawing of my little girl. I drew a picture of my daughter, Devin, and my daughter, Devin, is actually a very good artist. Maybe I can talk her into doing a portrait of me, and if she shares with me, I'll share it with you guys. Now, before I let you go, I want to point out a few important things. One is that drawing people is very, very difficult. And I picked something that's very, very challenging. So if your drawing doesn't look exactly like mine, that's fine. It doesn't have to look like mine. But if you do a drawing and you try your best and you have fun and you learn a little something every time you draw, maybe the only thing that you learned is that the eyes are halfway down the head. Maybe the only thing that you learned is that it's a good idea to draw lightly. Or maybe the thing that you learned is that the features are actually very simple to draw. It's a half circle with a circle inside for the eye. It's a little curve for the nose. It's a triangle pointing down to make a nice smile. If you learn a little bit with every drawing that you do, and if you keep trying, I guarantee you'll be successful. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I hope you had fun watching this video. I hope you have even more fun working on your drawings. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And if you decide after working on a drawing my way that your way is better, then you know what you should do? Draw it your way. Because that's what art is all about. It's about expressing yourself. I look forward to seeing your expressions of your self-portrait. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay creative, stay cougar strong. We'll see you soon.